Y'all killing me with this.
So now watch this. We're about to hear Ethan talk about like one of his haters that made these videos. One of them was a midget. One of them was a midget named Aubrey. You know, Aubrey Smalls, this motherfucker. He's like Joey Swole, but like the opposite. You know Joey Swole, that motherfucker? Red Bar likes to cover this guy. Me and Red Bar were eating lunch the other day. We were talking about Joey Swole, right? And I was telling him how much I get inspiration out of those videos. Red Bar is like the hugest Joey Swole fan. So he's basically talking to me about how much he loves Joey Swole. I'm talking to him about how much I love this midget named Aubrey Smalls, right? This guy is advocating for midgets in like a whole new way. You don't see like the midget Mamba advocating for midgets this way. You don't see Brad Williams advocating for midgets this way. Seems like all the midgets out there that are doing like crazy shit, they're not advocating for midgets. You know, Peter Dinklage, he didn't even want midgets to be in the new Wizard of Oz, man. This Aubrey Smalls motherfucker, good midget. So me and Red Bar arguing over lunch about who's the better one, Joey Swole or Aubrey Smalls. Turns out it's Aubrey Smalls. He made this like hit piece on Ethan. It turns out all the shit in the video like wasn't even true. He's like, oh, Ethan had me on to make like midget jokes about me the whole time with this fucking Jimmy character, man. It's fucking crazy, you know? And turns out they brought him on to educate this Jimmy guy on like the fact that Jimmy likes to say the word midget a lot and makes fun of midgets a lot, right? And then Ethan's sitting here, you know, counterpointing his hate video, right? Which is fine. Ethan wants to defend himself. I get it. But it's funny because Ethan's sitting there going, bro, we treated this guy like so fair, bro. And then they cut to a clip of Ethan talking to this guy and saying midget like 5 times in a row while talking to... That's like if you were talking to like a black person about educating racist people about black people, right? And you just start dropping the N-word all over the goddamn place. You start carpet bombing the N-word all throughout the conversation as if the person that you're talking to is not supposed to jump over the table and beat the fuck out of you, right? So he's going to sit there and be like, bro, we were nothing but good to this guy. And then they play a clip of Ethan being like, yeah, I was talking to people. They were saying midget this and midget that. He doesn't even correct himself in the presence of the midget. But now that the midget's gone, Ethan's like, I never even say the word midget anymore. I'm fucking cool as hell, man.
But you actually seem to break through to Jimmy Lee. Although, well, that's questionable because...
God, imagine that. Imagine this fucking midge, bro. Looking like... He does this, like, laughing like that. Bro, this is like a special effects, like, out of a movie. You know what I mean? You ever see, like, the behind the scenes of, like, a sci-fi movie? And there's, like, a creepy alien-looking figure. It's always, like, a puppet, like a mechanical puppet. And they start, like, controlling it from, like, behind the scenes. You ever see one of those videos? That's what this guy reminds me of, like an animatronic special effect out of a goddamn sci-fi movie.
Actually seemed to break through to Jimmy Lee. Although, well, that's questionable because 2 days later he did write, I fucking hate midgets in his description and apology.
Look, and then now, look, I didn't even notice this until right now. Ethan's sitting here tearing apart this guy's video going like, we gave this guy nothing but red carpet treatment. And I'm not going to lie. They didn't treat this midget that bad, okay? They really didn't. They, like, really fucking rolled it out for this guy. So he really did make a fake video against Ethan. Doesn't mean Ethan's not a bad guy. But still, so funny, Ethan's sitting here watching this video back, right? Laughing at himself, calling this guy a midget to his face, right? But he wants to sit there and go, bro, we've been nothing but supportive of the midgets, bro. What are you talking about? Watch him laugh when he says this midget stuff.
Later, he did write, I fucking hate midgets in his description.
Look at that. Look at that asshole. Why? Look at the smile. This guy. Look at him. He loves it. He loves the fact that he was saying the word midget. I bet if he was talking about, like, yo, remember when he used to say the N-word all the time? He'd be on his podcast being like, N-word, faggot, N-word. He's said it like 8 times in a row the one day. You know what I mean? I bet you if he was watching like that clip back, he'd be thinking the same thing. He'd be like, oh, man, I'm the shit, man. That's so fucking funny. It was a joke, man. I'm a comedian. This guy actually thinks he, like, calls himself a comedian. That's, like, crazy, right? Like a podcaster and a YouTuber, yeah, the podcast is comedy. Doesn't mean you're a comedian. I've made these points before. This is a comedy podcast. I'm not a comedian, okay? I cannot call myself a comedian just because my show is like kind of funny. You know what I mean? It's so crazy to me. But watch this. We're going to end the What's Eating Ethan Klein segment on some more hypocrisy here. You guys remember, this is like archive shit. You guys remember the old Joji clip of Ethan where he's like, yeah, man, it's like in a nature setting, like bitches just want to be conquered, man. Like it doesn't even matter. He's like smoking cigarettes with Post Malone. He's like, yeah, bro. He's like, these bitches, bro, they got to get conquered, bro, in this goddamn world, bro. Like all these girls out here want to be conquered. It's like the animalistic nature of the human man, you know what I mean? And Joji's in the background like, oh shit, like this motherfucker about to get canceled, goddamn. So he's going to start saying his piece about that video, right? And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because Ethan starts like having the craziest double standard when it comes to what he had said in that video. He goes, it wasn't even that bad. The only thing that made it bad was the fact that Joji was like kind of reacting the way he was in the background. If he would have watched a podcast of anyone that he didn't like saying women should be conquered, that is in their nature, is to be conquered, I mean, he would make a 45-minute hit piece about that person. You know what I mean? Like, this is rules for thee, but not H3. This is the hypocrisy 3 that we all talk about and know. You know what I mean?
The clip with Joji saying that women were at the time.
This is another one of his haters. This is fucking Jabba the Slut over here. This is a big bitch, bro. She came out swinging, and I'm telling you right now, they tear this girl's video apart. I don't even know this girl's name. I feel bad for her because they tore her video apart. The whole video, this girl says like nothing. You know, it's like, you know, when these YouTubers make these videos, a lot of time they're cutting like in between words and shit like that. She's cutting this video up to pieces, and this thing still doesn't make goddamn sense. Usually they cut to cut out like the fluff and string the points along easier. You know, that's why you'll see these guys talk for a second, and then in the next sentence, their hands like over here. You know what I mean? In the middle of the sentence. It's because they have to cut out the bullshit that they're talking in the camera, right? She makes all these goddamn cuts in the video, still doesn't say nothing. Ethan tears this bitch's video apart. But she brings this Joji clip up. And Ethan, listen to his reaction to this.
Was still doing stuff on the internet, I think. As Filthy Frank, saying that women were made to be submissive to men.
That's not what I... Okay, good.
Or apes or whatever, right? Our Neanderthal cousins were probably just like crazy. So there's definitely something like in us to like conquer. Men want to like conquer.
Right.
So it's, you know, women are in a nature setting like to be conquered.
Look at Joji over there. What the fuck? Joji knows what time it is. Joji knows what time it is. That's why Joji's like, bro, don't call me Filthy Frank no more. Like, this guy is singing love songs out the ass. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to lie. Some of them are pretty good. Like, this guy actually did a nice 180. Okay? It's not that bad what he ended up doing on the back end. So this guy, he knows it. He feels it. He's like, this guy's talking some crazy shit right now. And like, it is what it is. Say whatever the fuck you want. You know, don't act on it. It's not like Ethan's running around clubbing bitches over the head like a caveman and dragging them back to his house, you know? So we get it. But his reaction, again, is so hypocritical because if Logan Paul would have said this, Ethan would have lost his goddamn mind.
First of all, to be clear, I think it's funny how it went down with Joji. I don't even think there's really a problem with this clip, really. I mean, we just had drunk having a conversation. I said something without thinking that much and didn't really say that much. And I really don't even think it's only viral because Joji's.
Yeah, it is a good
Joji in the back. I mean,
it's not like any. Yeah.
You've said way worse.
See, he's right. It pretty much is only viral because of that reaction. That's not why people like were pissed off about the clip when it was going around though. You know what I mean? That's what got people to pay attention to it and share it and stuff like that. But what you were saying was the context that made them want to share it. You know what I mean? Like the Joji thing just got their eyes on it, you know? So let's give it up for Ethan and the hypocrisy that is H3. It's been a long while since we had a good old week segment. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm here for it. So let's put on a couple more tunes, right? And have ourselves a little bit of a smoke break before we get into the next segment.
And hold my fart like a bong rip.